Hey man, welcome to the show. It's your homie John John, aka Fly Chefin, and welcome back to the Green Room, aka Hustler Nation. And listen, we got a big one for the culture today. I'm excited. We got Game. You see the title YG versus the Game in a 20-song head-to-head, the Rosecrans edition to this versus thing. And we didn't get a lot of these verses. West Coast didn't get a lot of these verses. So to get this YG versus the Game is gonna be interesting. And I think for the most part, if you're into West Coast music, it's gonna be fun. Now, when you reach out to the polls, which I have been taking the polls all day, I think the polls are feeling that Game might have a slight edge on YG. I think it's 60-40 in favor of the Game right now. But when you're doing, as we seen when the Locks went against Dipset, you can have a great group like Dipset, who I think should have beat the Locks, but if you're not prepared, if you're not well prepared, if you haven't strategized on what you're gonna play when this person plays what and this, you could very well find yourself losing this battle. And as we all know, YG has upbeat music. He has a newer style than Game. And so if YG jump out there with that high energetic moving and he get that crowd bopping, it's gonna be hard for Game to re-bring it back with his type of music. So that's what I think is gonna be the difference between who gets off first. So if Game can jump out there and he put out some of his best gangster stuff and he lock us in on that before YG can, because because tooted and booted ain't gonna work behind some of Game's tough stuff. But then if you throw tooted and booted out there before Game can get going, even though most of us ain't gonna really like tooted and booted, it's gonna do something energy wise. So I just think I think it's a closer matchup than we think. I feel like it's a Boots Ennis versus uh, Errol Spence Jr. It's a Boots versus Terrence Crawford type battle here. Young versus the youth of Bompton versus the elder statement of Bomptons, right? So let's now I know TMZ this morning had put out some breaking news that did concern YG, and so let's just take a look and see what we have here. There is significant development, but it's cause what TMZ showed earlier, and I'll try to show it here, that police did take YG into custody. Whether or not he was arrested or detained was up for debate, up for question. So we had to dig into that and find out exactly what's going on with YG. How will this affect the verses tonight? And is the verses still on? And so, upon some of our research, we find out that YG was detained by law enforcement early this morning, while authorities executed a search warrant connected to the ongoing investigation into Drakeo the Ruler's 2021 killing. But according to law enforcement sources, for some reason they're showing that for some reason they're saying that um, California Highway Patrol is leading this investigation. That was something that was said by Adam 22 when he said that CHP came to talk to Munchie B up at No Jumper. And then if you guys are keeping up with some of the other LA Street, narrators or podcasters, ODM Slim also took to the YouTube streets to kind of clarify whether or not CHP would lead a murder charge rather than LAPD 77th Homicide Division. But some sources are stating that CHP is leading this investigation, which does sound abnormal, right? But YG was not arrested. Officers completed a search of property he owned, and he was released. There was no charges, no criminal charges have been announced against him in the connection with the Draco case. And so he was just taken in. They did like I said, they did a search of a property. They detained him for a little while, and then he was released. So the show is still going to go on. We need to do a little bit more of an investigation to find out what the heck was happening during that. And when we get that news, we will report that. But as of right now, we do got the show going. The show will go on. The show will not be stopped nor delayed. And so if you guys tune in, I believe it's 8 o'clock Pacific time. We can all watch this thing together. Put your vote in. I would like y'all to tell me who y'all think is gonna win down at the bottom. Listen, may the best Damu win. You know, it's gonna be for the fun. And a lot of people are talking this how good this is for the culture of Compton, because ever since, and this is just all, you know, I'm not a Damu, but some of the barbershop talk that I have had over this debate was like, the good thing about this is ever since the Suge Knight days, the Bloods and the Pirus have not been a tight unit like they at once was. And so this is one step to bringing back that unity that they once had, because throughout the years there had been a little friction going back between the fruit towns and the treetops. And who knows if the Cedars took a side or not, but this right here is going down for the culture. It's the Rosecrans edition. We look forward to seeing who's gonna pull this thing out. I can't really say where I'm leaning. I guess I can. I'm more of a Game fan. I feel like Game has several real good albums. Like, you know, I think that 1992 was a hell of an album. I think the documentary 2 was a hell of an album. So the Game got some solid albums. But also YG, YG got some hard songs too. You know, that My Crazy Life album was a classic, and so we just got to see how they piece this thing together. But anyway, we're gonna cut this one short. We're gonna show a little bit of TMZ's video footage of YG going down and see what they got to say. Maybe we'll close it with that, and then we'll tap back in with you guys a little bit later tonight. Maybe during the show, after the show, get your opinion on what's going on and what y'all thought. Anyway, it's your boy John. You tapped in with the Hustle Nation. Please like and subscribe. We're going to try to keep this thing going. Until the next time, much love.
Substation, lawless gang engaging in civil liberties violations and other lawless conduct.
Specifically conduct of protect